And we're back with another episode of the Gaming Pulpit, where I actually talk about controversies online regarding online gaming. Either that or some news that I found out that I scrunched up on um, online and things like that. So that being said, right, I wanted to talk about this, and this is like the part two to the video that I just released yesterday. I've been having like massive internet issues, and I wasn't able to, put a full-on video, which was super annoying, but that's okay. We are going to get right to it here. So if you probably noticed, the beat in the background is something that I make. This is part of the channel there. So if you're interested in that particular beat, let me know. Either via the comments, I'll hook you up with it and stuff like that if you want to have it for like a ringtone or anything of that nature. So let's go straight to it here. What I wanted to talk about is, well, Guerrilla Games, which that development company is responsible for. They're responsible for the Killzone series. They're responsible for Horizon Zero Dawn. They have decided to expand their development studio from 200 to like 400, so doubling it. And there's two reasons why they do this. They stated that they are expanding because they want to make games quicker, like have like a 2 to 3 year development cycle for existing and new IPs, which is very telling. So they say existing, guess what? We're talking about Killzone again. Another thing that has happened with them as well is that they actually hired the guy that is like one of the directors that is responsible for the Rainbow Six Siege, which is a multiplayer game. That being said, it kind of looks like they're making some sort of multiplayer game. Now, it could be, it could very well be, what the fuck is it? Horizon Zero Dawn, like co-op. They could be doing stuff like that. If they are, we're looking at the co-op that's similar to Monster Hunter and things like that, which I'll be okay with. Like, I wouldn't mind that at all. That'll be fucking awesome. I think that almost all of Sony's big, AAA games need multiplayer, but they need a very strong single player because that's what Sony is good at, and that's what ropes people in there. It's not an established multiplayer game, so you kind of need something to tie people in there to pull them in, and that would be the single player experience. So they could do that, and really expand on Horizon Zero Dawn, such as jumping on the machines, sort of like this. You know what I mean? Where in Monster Hunter you can jump on them and you can take off parts and stuff like that. They did mention in some of the data points that's in the game, which is like the stuff that you can like read for the lore of the game, and that could fucking happen. Jumping on the machines and stuff like that. They can fix the melee. Well, they don't need to fix it. Most people don't understand that the melee is really there. Like a pistol is a secondary thing. It's like when you don't have any more arrows and you have to use something. That's what it's there for. People really thought that it was gonna be like, like Demon Souls and Bloodborne and this particular game. That's not what the game was about. So who knows how the multiplayer will be. It could also mean that they're possibly making like, a new Killzone. That'd be fucking sweet if they have a new Killzone with the production values of Horizon Zero Dawn. That'd be fucking awesome. That'd be fucking awesome. I would love that. I would love that shit. I would honestly love that shit. I think that would be sweet. That would be sweet as shit. Another thing that they could be doing, they say existing IPs. They didn't say their IPs either. It's possible, it's very possible that they could be rebooting. I've said this before, like if anybody could do this, it would be Guerrilla Games to actually revive the SOCOM series. I would love for the SOCOM series to be revived because Guerrilla Games is known for their tactical gameplay, gunplay, and stuff like that. I would love for them to do it, and to me, it would make the most sense. You know what I mean? If they go about it that way, it would make total sense by doing it that way, and I think that'll be pretty cool to revive that series. I don't know how they would be able to revive it. Obviously, it'd be third person. You know, would it be a battle royale game? I hope not. It could be a mode in there. That'd be pretty cool, but not like a full fledged. Like nobody wants that shit. So they could be doing shit like that. Who knows? It'd be very telling. Shit. Yoshida, which is one of the directors or the head honchos, CEOs of you know, PlayStation in that particular branch of Sony, stated that they have exclusives that they haven't mentioned. They haven't mentioned any of the exclusives that they have, if they don't need to. I mean, they're already fucking murdering the game anyway. They don't need to do any more. Like, it's at this point, it's super fucking overkill. It's too much. You're like really fucking murdering the shit. But I'm assuming that they're gonna release the how can I say it? They're gonna end up releasing the some of these games that they had, you know, on the back burner or they haven't shown at this year's. Or is it this year's? I guess it would be next year's. I think it's in December. I'm not sure. But at their PlayStation Experience. So that'd be fucking awesome. I would love for them to do that. That'd be really, really nice. Ooh, that would be nice. I would love that shit. I totally lost track of what I was going to say, so sorry about that. What was I saying? I guess I was just talking about in general, like, what they're going to, you know, their IPs and stuff like that, like reviving the SOCOM series. I'm assuming that's what I'm really talking about in my mind's eye right now. So, in other news, this is the other half that I wanted to, you know, kind of like release. And I wanted the videos to be together, but my internet was just completely trashed the other day. It was just like really fucking bad. Not fitting for anything. So that really kind of pissed me off. But that's okay. We're already past that. Now, some interesting news came out. A possible leak and how a possible leak with Microsoft's plans for next gen. And this is their Scarlet program. Now they said releasing multiple consoles. One of the consoles, it seems to be like a traditional console with the whole power. The other one seems to be like a cloud box. So this box would handle their service. Basically, like it would the box would handle their service via the cloud. And at this point in time, it's like, really? So it's basically like PlayStation Now. You're not going to get no 4K, like, it's not going to be 4K, like, imagery. And this is what they were talking about before. I guess they can force people to actually release their, or buy their, if you want 4K, you can buy their actual full-fledged console. And it's like, they're still trying to do this whole online only bullshit. You know what I'm saying? By having this particular console. Like, it needs to always be on. Obviously, like, okay, so let me just go over this. The details are as follows. So the box can do very simple things like input and get rid of input latencies. And they're still in its early stages as well. It can process basic information of the gaming world, but it uses the cloud to actually render graphics and stuff like that. So essentially, it's probably like a it's essentially like an Xbox One. It seems like it's weak, but it's using the cloud to boost its service or boost its graphics and stuff like that. So, no, I don't want no fucking cloud service. Like, that's dumb. That's real dumb. The only reason why PlayStation Now is kind of like tantalizing is because like it'd be a really easy way of checking out a game without wasting your space. You can play it really quickly, and if you don't like it, you can just say fuck it. If you do like it and you don't have enough space, you can do it that way. So that, stuff like that is a convenience feature. So I hope that's what they're going to end up doing in general with the future PlayStations. Like have PlayStation now incorporated in there. That'd be really cool. Um, that'd be really nice, actually. I'm not gonna lie. I would appreciate that. So that's pretty much the news that has been coming out. Um, that's the latest news. Is Project Scarlet and the shit, and what they're going to be doing. Now, here's what I wanted to talk about too. So there's this kid, this YouTube personality, or this YouTube channel. Now, he's made himself a little following and stuff like that. He's a young kid. I think he's about like 24 years old, maybe 22. Some young fucking millennial, whatever he is. So he's been on a record for saying that he wanted PlayStation 4 or PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live to be free. Now, here's the kicker though. The kicker is, this is what he says. He thinks it's anti-consumer, which is like a buzzword at this point in time. He says he thinks it's anti-consumer that Xbox and Sony are charging for online services where Steam can actually, Steam can do it for free. Now, normally, I'm all about the whole anti-consumer thing. I get it. I totally understand what you're doing. What the fuck ever. You know what I mean? If they're buzzwords and it's stuff to say that, I'm sticking to the man. Here's the problem. Steam is segmented. It has its own chat and stuff like that, but people use Discord for starters. So that's another fucking thing. They do have their own profile and all this other stuff, you know what I'm saying? And they use ads and things like that. So Sony, I would say for the most part, they don't have like any type of ad. Usually it's relevant to gaming or their video service. Now, he's lumping Sony in with Microsoft and what they've done. So the funny thing is this. He's an Xbox fan. He says he's not a fanboy, but he prefers Xbox. And I guess he's one of those young kids that, college life and stuff like that. The problem here is that the whole time you paid for Xbox Live and you didn't complain, all of a sudden it's anti-consumer and I want to do this whole Steam thing. It's free and they're using our money. He's not looking at the bigger picture here. And Microsoft gave you nothing for their Xbox Live. All they gave you, they gave you the gamer score. That's all they really gave you. You have to pay for Live to have the chat. You have to pay for Live to use Netflix. You have to pay for Live for if there's a free-to-play game. You can't even to this day. You can't play that shit. You can't. You need Xbox Live for the whole Fortnite debacle thing too. No one's really mentioning that too. You need Xbox Live to play that, and you need Xbox Live to have Netflix, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Now, it may not be, maybe they changed it or whatever the case is, but for my records, you need Live for Netflix. Which to me is absolutely ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous to do that. Not only that, but he goes on to show, and his name is Griffin Gaming, he goes on to show that Microsoft basically had an ad on his dashboard about banks. Yeah, like banks. I've never seen no fucking ad like for banks on PlayStation's dashboard. I've never seen that. Number two, Microsoft they don't even have really much of a first party to, offload the cost to. They don't even have much of a party. So they've been pocketing your money the whole fucking time, and all of a sudden you want to be a vigilante and you want to be a crusader and fight for the ban because you want free online because your platform doesn't have no exclusives to call their own. Now you want to blame everybody else. What Sony does, and they get things wrong, but what Sony does, they offset that money with R&D. They make new IPs. They're not afraid to, you know what I mean, to make any kind of, they're not afraid to take risks. So it's clearly that's what the fuck they're doing. And it shows. You know, you got things like The Last of Us, Horizon Zero Dawn, and stuff like that. And people are just like, you know, he was just so ill informed with this whole situation. I'm like, come on, dude. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? He's just clearly there to get hits. Clearly there to get hits. And then 3, even if you don't look at what Microsoft is doing, you still have to have pay for servers. Now, his argument was, you know, with the games that are on, that you can buy digitally, Sony gets a cut from it. And they can technically, you know, pay for, they can technically pay for it with the cut that they made. But I'm like, you know, it is a business, and I totally understand that, you know, you should understand that it's a business at this point. It's a business. It's a business. But at least what Sony does, they will give you the game for your troubles once a month or whatever the case is. I believe it's once a month. Not really giving it to you, but it's incentive to actually have it. But they will do that. They will also provide the cloud storage. They will also provide what else? Your fucking exclusives. That's how it's being paid. And then Sony's not really that healthy as a company anyway. So like, at least what they're doing is giving some incentive for you to pay it, and they still allow you to play, you know, free to play games without the need of PlayStation Plus, or you can watch Netflix on there. Whereas Microsoft still have these hard ass limits, and it's like, come on, man. I mean, you gotta understand that this is going to be a business, and it's not going anywhere. I mean, unfortunately, I would like a lot of things to be free, but it's not how the world works. You know what I mean? You bitching about video after video that it needs to be free isn't going to change anything, because they're making money and people are still buying it, including myself. You know what I mean? If it starts to get too high in price, yeah, I'm gonna come at all of them. But for the moment, I can deal with it. And it's like Costco too. Costco pays you for this shit. You know what I mean? For these discounts. You know, Costco and BJ's, you pay for a membership, and then you that's pretty much it for them. You know what I mean? Like, you pay for the discount. To get in there, you have to pay for the membership. So to me, that's how I see it. But anyway, that's the end of this video. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate anybody that's watching these videos. It's a pleasure to make these videos for you and to give you, you know, second sight and a different, you know, a different viewpoint on things, where, you know, the internet is basically like an echo chamber. You just essentially copy people. I'm there to show a different angle on these things, a realistic angle. But let me know what you think about the video. Let me know if you like it, dislike it. Let me know what I should be doing, if I'm doing something right, if I'm doing something wrong. And, well, stay tuned.